Hello, welcome to my channel if you're a brand new viewer, or welcome back if you are a returning viewer. My name is Diamond, aka Lady Leo, and I am super excited to be featuring a brand that has never been featured as a main channel video. I haven't bought from them in a while. The brand is BCB Lacquers, and we're going to be swatching their Love and Smut collection. Before I dive too much into the collection, I wanted to just talk a little bit about my experience with the brand. I'm pretty sure I got into BCB Lacquers a few years ago, and back then, like several years ago, I was really into like polish pickup and hella handmade creations, and they do polishes for both of those. So that's how I first got exposed to them, and then I just went searching and found that they do have their own website, which I will put in the description if I remember to do that. So they do have their own website, and I saw this collection come across my feed in Instagram, and I really vibed with it, so I really wanted to check it out. If I remember correctly, I think the collection just came out this year, January of 2025. It is a 7-piece collection, and it is, Love and Smut. I really love the name of that because when I was, I don't know, maybe like 14 to 16, probably in that realm, I was really into romance novels. And you can't see me, but I'm using air quotes because thinking about those novels now, I would definitely not put them in the romance category. They're definitely in the fantasy relationship category. Definitely not like a realistic relationship, but I was really into those novels, and my friends at the time would definitely call them smut novels. So this kind of reminds me of how much I was super into those books, and it's just a very interesting thing to sort of go back and read those books or even think about them as an adult. Anyway, the Love and Smut collection is actually part 1, so who knows when they're going to drop part 2, but I do know that they also do like Smut of the Month, so they do like a 1 or 2 drops. I guess it's like add-ons, but I'm waiting for part 2 of the collection. Anyway, this is a 7-piece collection, so let's get started with our swatching. I've got the full unboxing there too, and then like I said, if I remember, I will put the link to BCB Lacquers in the description. Okay, let's get started with our first one. And really quickly before I forget, because I almost always forget, if you do end up liking this video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. It really helps me out. I make varied types of content, so I do nail content, I do nail shorts, I do Reddit reactions, am I the asshole, I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, all sorts of things. I like to talk about lots of topics that are just really interesting to me. So yeah, if you do end up liking this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Really helps me out. Okay, let's get started with our first polish. First up, we have Just the Tip. Also, all of these names are going to be very risque, so just understand that it's the name of the game with the collection. So this is described as a right crelly polish with a strong pink, orange, gold shifting shimmer. I guess I do see the crelly, but I don't know, I put this more in the shimmer category than a crelly, but I guess it is a sort of light crelly with the shimmer. I don't usually love white polishes or shimmer polishes, but I don't know what's come over me lately. I've been really vibing with like whites and shimmers. This reminds me of Glazed from Holo Taco, which was part of the Declassifieds 2.0. I didn't pick up Glazed initially, but I did end up going back and getting it. Obviously, it doesn't have the same shimmer. I just mean that it's a white sort of crelly polish with a shimmer, which is what Glazed is. And like I said, I don't usually vibe with them, but I don't know what's gotten into me lately. I do really vibe with them lately. There's something about that very creamy, light base, and then you put a very strong, shifting shimmer in there that makes it really dynamic that I really, really appreciate. I would say on this one that I'd see the pink and the orange a little bit more than the gold. I see the gold a little bit more towards the edges, but the pink and the orange are really, really dominant for me. And I just think it's a really simple polish. If you think about it, it's just a crelly with a shimmer, and then it just makes it really dynamic and really pretty. Though it's a bit too early to say this one is my favorite since we have 6 other polishes to go, but I will say this is a strong start from the collection. So moving on to the next one, which we have is Pheromones. The way it's spelled is really fun as well. Pheromones is definitely the brightest color in this whole collection. It's a bright, hot, neon pink crelly with a strong blue purple shimmer in this. So I gravitated towards this immediately because y'all know I love pinks. So pink is my favorite color. And I just really think this one is a really standout because it's such a bright neon shade in contrast to the other shades in here. But I like it. I like that it's just like this one like really bright shimmer. I do think because the base color is such a neon, it's pretty hard to see the shimmer, at least on camera, I think, unless I'm holding my finger at like really specific angles. Like I do see it when I turn it all the way to like the left to the right, but I just think the nature of the shimmer in a color that's this bright, it does make it kind of hard to see. So there's a part of me that wonders, is there like another version of this that has maybe something that's a little bit more contrasting in terms of like a shimmer or a glitter? Yeah, I mean, or this could have been just good as like the only creme of the collection. Now that I think about it, well, I do think I've seen some cremes from BCB Lacquers. I'm trying to think, do they do cremes? Maybe they don't do cremes, but it might have been interesting if this was like just like a hot pink creme, because I just don't think the shimmer is contrasting enough to kind of pay off. Again, I do really love the base shade. I just don't think the shimmer is present enough, if that makes sense. Like you just really can't see it that well on camera. But you know, either way, I do still really love this base shade because it's pink and I pretty much love all pinks. So moving on to the next one, which is Backshot. This is another Crelly. It's a white Crelly with fuchsia red and rose gold metallic flakes. I really love flaky polishes, and I would say that like the brand that I feel like I think about when I think about like a lot of flaky polishes would be like the Painted Polish. They do a lot of these cremes with flakes in them, and there's something about the combination that I just really enjoy. It kind of reminds me of like granite or quartz, or like if you've ever had your garage door, not the garage door, but the garage floor painted, like they painted a base color and then they put a bunch of, I actually don't know what it's made of, but they put a bunch of stuff to make this sort of speckle pattern, and then they put like a final layer on top of it. That's what polishes like this remind me of, which I really, really dig. And this one is very simple. Like I said, it's a white Crelly base, and then you just have some flakies in there. So you have those different colors, which I think are just really pretty colors and they really get a chance to shine in this white Crelly base. So I love Backshot. Is it too early to say if this is one of my favorites? Maybe I'll wait till we do the whole collection, but I really like this one a lot because I just really love those. I love a creme base with flakies in there, because I think anytime you're doing like a white sort of creme base, the flakies really get a chance to shine. Okay, moving on to the next one. That's a mouthful. This is a muted pink Crelly with a pink orange gold shimmer, and then it has a little bit of micro purple large particle shimmer. I don't know if I can pick that up, but I guess it depends on like what it looks like in terms of micro shimmer. What I really like to start with is this base shade. I love pinks, but I feel like my favorite category of pinks is probably these sort of like muted mauve-y kind of pinks, and to me this is sort of like a rose pink, if you will. It's very much like a muted kind of pink color. It's not like a hot pink, but it's not like a dark pink. It's like a very nice like dusty rose kind of color. That was what I was trying to say. So I really like the base shade, and then when you add in that shimmer, it makes it a lot more dynamic. And I think in this base shade in particular, the shimmer really has a chance to shine, whereas I feel like in Pheromones it does get drowned out, but in this one you can really appreciate the shimmer. I don't know if I pick up on the micro purple shimmer. It says it's large particles, but like I don't think that means like large pieces. I just think it's probably maybe larger in relation to like the other shimmer. So it could be one of those things I really just have to look at. There is a little bit of an extra sparkle in there, which might be, this could be the purple micro shimmer, like kind of like I feel like it reminds me of like a reflective glitter. Like I know it's not reflective glitter, but it has this different shine from the shimmer, if that makes sense. So maybe that's the purple micro glitter. It just doesn't come across as purple when I'm looking at it. But I think this is a really fun color and a really good part of the collection. Moving on to the next one, Rock Hard Abs. This is a bright plum crelly with a strong pink, orange, gold shifting shimmer in there. I love when you have the shimmer that shifts because I think it gives the illusion of being sort of multi-chrome, because that's kind of what you get out of a multi-chrome. It's a different type of finish, but you get that shift at different angles. And I think this shift in particular is really complementary in this darker shade of purple. First of all, I love purples. That's my second favorite color in terms of and after pink. So I like this color a lot. I think it really blends in really nicely with the collection. And then again, because it's a darker shade, I think the shimmers that are in here really get a chance to contrast a little bit. I can talk a little bit. And I really like the contrast between the darker shade and the shimmers. And I think they're also really complementary in terms of, you know, the type of contrast as well. So I think this shade is super gorgeous, and I'm gonna say it, it's probably one of my favorites, but we've got two magnetics coming up, and I have been so in love with magnetics lately. I even got that, you know, that big magnet that creates velvet nails, and I'm not gonna lie, kind of like the effect. So we're gonna move on to our last two of the collection, which are the magnetics, and the first one is gonna be I Touch Myself. So this is a deep red jelly with a red orange magnetic pull in terms of like when you magnetize it. This was the polish that drew me to the collection. There's always like one or two, or if I like love the whole collection, you know, it could be every polish that draws me, but like this one polish is the one that got me to be like, maybe I should take a look at the whole collection. I have been in love with magnetics for the last few months, and red magnetics are just so beautiful. And I think it's hard to get right because red, if you use like the red magnetic and then you use like a shade that's also red, then I don't think the magnetic is as stark. Whereas if you use something that's a little bit contrasting but complementary, where there's like a red orange shift, you kind of get the best of both worlds. You still get that really dark red base, and then you do have a nice line of magnetization. Now keep in mind with magnets, there's a lot of different ways you can wear magnetic polishes. If you want, you can rock it fully unmagnetized, which is a vibe. I tend to prefer the cat eye when I'm swatching because I think it gives you the best in terms of being able to see that harsh line of magnetization. Now that I have my new magnet, I will also be testing out velvet nails. And then of course there's cat eyes. There's a couple other different types of magnets that I have as well. So there's a lot of different ways you can wear it magnetized. Keep in mind when you are magnetizing polishes, you do need to make sure that you magnetize for about 60 seconds. Now, through a lot of trial and error, I've found that I don't really think it makes a difference if you don't magnetize the first light layer. Like if you're gonna wear this polish on its own, not over like one coat of black or something like that, I don't think you need to magnetize the first level. So I would just rock one coat, unmagnetize, put on your second coat, magnetize that for 60 seconds, and then make sure you magnetize it when you put on your top coat as well. Okay, moving on to the last one of the collection, which is also a magnetic, and that is, it's how you use it. This is a gray crelly with a pink, purple, gold, green, multi-chrome magnetic pull, and then a soft blue purple shimmer. So we've got a couple things going on in there. It says it's a gray crelly, but I guess I would be curious to know, like sorry, let me just rephrase this. I don't really see gray. I see purple, but that could be a combination of the multi-chrome and the shimmer. So the base could be gray, which would make it very neutral, and then the shimmer and the multi-chromes really contribute to making the polish look purple. But to me, this looks like a purple polish with a shimmer in there. And then I really like this when you magnetize this. I think this would look really good over one coat black as well. I do like to do magnetics over one coat black because I'm lazy, and the least amount of times I have to magnetize it is usually what I'm aiming for. So if you wear it over one coat of black, technically you're not, I mean, you still have to magnetize it twice. You know, once for the coat and then once again for the top coat. But yeah, I do like the way some polishes look over like one coat of black, but I really like how this looks because you get that deep plum and then you have this beautiful line of magnetization, which really shows off the pink orange shimmer in there, and I think it looks really great. Like I said, I think this would really look pretty over one coat of black too, so maybe I'll test that out. Well, that is the whole collection of the Love and Smut collection part 1. So let's move on to the comparisons and I can tell you which ones are my favorite. Here is the whole collection right up against each other. I think this collection is really cohesive, and I went from light to dark, which is kind of how I like to go if that's like what a collection allows me to do, unless everything's like the same shade. But usually I like to go from light to dark. So because this is a 7-piece collection, I think I'm going to allow myself to pick my top 3. I'm only going to allow myself 1 magnetic because it would be unfair to pick 2. I'm definitely going to go with I Touch Myself. It was definitely what drew me to the collection, and I absolutely love the magnetic red. The second one is, you know what? I like Just the Tip quite a bit. Again, it reminds me of Glazed Over, and I think it's really, really pretty. And then maybe for the wild card, I'll go with Backshot. I love Crelly Flaky polishes, so those are my top 3 favorites. Let me know in the comments below if you picked out this collection, or if you just have a favorite if you didn't pick out the collection. But you should definitely check out BCB Lacquers as well. They have a lot of really great polishes. I've been ordering from them maybe like once or twice over the last few months, and they have, because they do hella handmade creations, they do polish pickup. They have a couple of like mystery ones you can do where you can just like, you just pay for like the polish pickup or hella handmade creations and they'll pick them out for you. And I've gotten a ton of really great mystery polishes from them. So yeah, I highly recommend checking out the brand. If you've never heard of them before, you might find some hidden gems on their website, and you might take your chances with the mystery polishes. I haven't had any of the mystery polishes that I didn't love. Okay, that's my time. Catch you later. Bye.